Last week, a boy competed in a girls' conference track meet here in your district. I'm not here to argue policy, but to speak truth. This is not just about fairness, it's about how we care for and guide our children.
I'm old enough to remember when adults who obsessed over children's genitals weren't allowed within 500 yards of a school. Those were good times. They claim to want to protect girls, yet they have become quite emboldened by the election to the White House of an adjudicated rapist and the fact that the head of the U.S. Department of Education is Linda McMahon, who herself is married to a rapist and who, amongst many other things, is credibly accused of sex trafficking and the cover-up of steroid use.
The disgrace that happened on that track last week is now national embarrassment. Naperville parents will spend literally tens of thousands of dollars on sports throughout their daughters' lives. Travel teams, coaches, summer camps, traveling to tournaments and meets, etc. And when their daughter steps up for her chance to win a state championship or medal, she'll lose to a biological male. That once-in-a-lifetime moment, gone because of DEI's political agenda. There is no gender spectrum. It's just a made-up theory dreamed up in a studies department on a college campus somewhere like this one.
Losing a race is disappointing. It is okay for our students to experience disappointment. We cannot protect our children from all the disappointments in life, but we can encourage them to develop resilience.
Instead of helping him understand that he's not a girl and can never be a girl, the district has decided to allow him to compete against our female athletes and steal their spots and medals. My son is a high school track athlete. He runs 3 events, the 3200, the 1600, and the 800. He ranks 321st in the state among all boys in the 3200. In the girls category, he would be number 1.
She deserves to play sports, play girl sports, because she is a girl. I've also heard several of you say that biological males have an advantage in sports over biological females. This is also not true. The only reason we believe that is because we believe it is socially acceptable for young boys to build up their muscles. There is nothing that proves that biological males are stronger than biological females. I know to many of you in this room, you think I'm spreading ideology, but this reaction is rooted in fear. I am truly sorry that this world has become so scary for you that you are terrified of something as simple as a kid playing a sport.
XX cannot become XY and vice versa. There is no transformation. There is no trans. For this district to claim otherwise is a lie so egregious you might as well scrap all biology classes.
You've heard some vague threats tonight about Title IX lawsuits, but don't worry. That group never did anything but lose. Don't be fooled. It was never about a race, and it was never about an athlete. This is an attempt to further marginalize a group and tell them that they don't belong.
Transgenderism is a social contagion. It's going to come back, and it's going to cost us, my fellow citizens, a lot of money to fight history, because it is changing. Those of you who think that you can become a man can become a woman and a woman become a man, sorry to break it to you, I represent common sense. That's impossible. And the doctor does not assign anything at birth. God assigns it at conception, folks. And that's the way it is. And you can't change that. Now, you can condemn religion, you can condemn people that don't agree with you, but take it up with him on Judgment Day, because this is stupid. Out and out stupid. Trump 2028 has gotten, well, he's a dictator, he can do it, has gotten this done. And you are going to pay the price with our money, if that's our expense. So thank you for the work you do, for being here tonight, but let's get with the program, folks. Let's get with the program. MAGA.
The Bible tells about St. Paul, who said in the context of sexuality and gender, let's look at nature and see what it says. And then made some terribly incomplete observations and came to a horribly wrong conclusion.
Their policies are based on their emotions only. This is why we see the bizarre phenomena of trans activists fighting against therapy for children and instead pushing for permanent sex change surgeries for children.
According to medical science, what separates male and female is a complex process. Being trans or non-binary is not a choice, but actually a very common part of nature. Our personal identity is adversely affected when a student is forced to compete in a gender with which he or she does not identify.
What we do want is to ensure basic fairness for our girls. He or she, or whatever pronoun you prefer, is in fact a significant advantage in most sports when competing against girls. And this is not arguable. This is not up for debate.
We are called to love our neighbors, to speak for the vulnerable, and to make space for the table for everybody. This is about a child who just wants to play with her friends and be accepted for who they are.
If you look at me right now, you can tell I should not compete against any male. I should not compete against any males behind. Look at this gentleman right here. Clearly, I should not compete against him, and my daughter should not compete against biological males either.
IHSA, at this point, has 3 male to female trans athletes. 3. That's it. That's what you guys are whining about.
The next election for seats on this school board should be laser focused on one question. What's the acceptable amount of genetic boys allowed to participate in girls' sports divisions? If the answer is anything other than 0, that person isn't qualified.
The fear you're hearing tonight about transgender students is that there's just thousands of them and they're going to invade girls' sports. The truth is, there are more kids that have gotten measles in West Texas than there are transgender students in this whole godly country. And they're not going to invade anybody's sports.
Title IX is not just a box to check or a footnote in history. It's a binding legal promise that girls would have a level playing field and a fair chance to compete, win, and pursue their dreams.